This module focuses on determining or clarifying the meaning of unknown and multiple meaning words and phrases based on second grade content, with a specific focus on using a known root word as a clue to the meaning of an unknown word with the same root. In second grade, students are expected to use affixes and root words to determine the meaning of larger words. This lesson is one example of how you can practice this skill with your students. The activities in this lesson will give students many opportunities to build and manipulate words while practicing how to determine the meaning of these words based on their parts. In the text, What Research Has to Say About Vocabulary Instruction, edited by Alan E. Farstrup and S. J. Samuels, Paddock, Newton, Rosinski, and Newton state that well over half of English words, nearly 75% according to some estimates, are derived from Greek and Latin roots. In the upper elementary grades, students focus on learning these roots, which will better prepare them for determining meaning of the larger unknown words they encounter while independently reading. For the purpose of this lesson, we will not be looking at Greek and Latin roots, but as a precursor, second grade students will work with manipulating simple root words by adding affixes to them to change their meaning. Paddock, Newton, Rosinski, and Newton also state that learning key word parts enables students to master new words that are semantically connected. In this way, instruction becomes more efficient. By learning one word part, students have clues to meaning for all the words that contain it. The objective for this lesson is for students to use root words that they already know as a clue to figuring out meaning for words that also contain that root. The length of this lesson is around 25 minutes, with the independent practice taking place after the lesson. Skills that students need to be familiar with before taking part with a group are knowledge of compound words and decoding words with common prefixes and suffixes. For this lesson, you will need the Building Words work mat, affix cards, and recording sheet. You will want enough materials for each student to work independently. You will also need a whiteboard and chart paper with a writing utensil to create the anchor chart. The lesson on the following slides is an example of an intervention that you can use for students who have not yet mastered the skill of using known root words as a clue to determining the meaning of an unknown word. You will see the best success with engagement and learning if your group has 4 or less students. The teacher introduction phase should only be 3 to 5 minutes long. State the purpose of the lesson to the students and let them know that you will be focusing on root words and how we can use them to help us determine meaning. To build a student's interest in this lesson, write the words playful, player, and replay on the board. Ask the students to use the think, pair, share strategy, and first, think about what they notice in the 3 words. Then they should pair up with a partner and share their thoughts. The teacher modeling phase should take around 10 minutes, depending on the needs of your students. First, discuss the word play all on its own. Ask students what it means to play. You might lead them into knowing that play is something you do for enjoyment or recreation. You might play outside by running around, or you might play inside with Legos and dolls. Then, show students the word playful. Talk about the suffix full and what it means, to be full of. Playful would mean you are full of play, and discuss examples with students such as puppies being playful or young children being playful. Using the word play, we can also create the word player, which then changes into a person, someone who plays, like a baseball player or a basketball player. Finally, discuss the word replay and how the meaning changes yet again to mean to play again. Remind the students that play is a word that they could pick out of a larger word. When they see a root word that they know, they can begin to determine the meaning of the unknown word. The guided practice portion of this lesson will be around 10 minutes as well. Start by writing the words disagree, agreeable, and agreement on the board. Have the students talk with a partner about the root word that occurs in all 3 words and the affixes that are added to the words. Listen to their conversation to make sure they can locate the root word, that they know what the root word and affixes mean, and to see if they can determine the meaning. After students have had a chance to share their thinking with a partner, have them share with the whole group while you document their thinking on the anchor chart. On this slide is an example of what your anchor chart might look like. If students need more support with this concept, you can use the root word use for extra guided practice. You may wish to have the anchor chart partially created before meeting with your students, but remember to fill in the root word, affixes, and definitions with your students as you discuss them. During the active engagement portion of the lesson, students will be using the building words mat, affix cards, and recording sheet that are seen on the materials slide. Students should use the work mat to manipulate the affix cards and create as many words with the same root as they can. The example on this slide shows 2 ways students may do the first word. They can add the prefix dis to the root approve to create disapprove. They can also add the suffix ing to the root word approve, creating the word approving. Students should try to come up with at least 2 variations for each word, but can challenge themselves for 3 if they wish. They will record their new words and definitions on the recording sheet. The Building Words activity can serve as a great formative assessment piece for you to gauge student learning. There is also a formative assessment available on Edify and a paper copy of that assessment linked into the lesson plan document if technology is not available.